Good morning. Our reading is taken from the book of Acts, chapter 2, verses 42 to 47. Acts chapter 2, verses 42 to 47. They devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching and to fellowship, to the breaking of bread, and to prayer. Everyone was filled with awe at the many wonders and signs performed by the apostles. All the believers were together and had everything in common. They sold property and possessions to give to anyone who had need. Every day they continued to meet together in the temple courts. They broke bread in their homes and ate together with glad and sincere hearts, praising God and enjoying the favor of all the people. And the Lord added to their number daily those who were being saved. God bless the reading of this history. Paul Lawrence Dunbar described life in a short poem, and allow me to read a portion of this. A crust of bread and a corner to sleep in, a minute to smile and an hour to weep in, a pint of joy to a peck of trouble, and never a laugh, but the moans come double, and that is life. Pandemic has caused a lot of trouble in our lives. We can no longer visit places we missed. We cannot meet and worship together. Some lost their jobs. Some businesses closed. And the worst is death of loved ones. But there is one thing we never even recognize happening. Pandemic has furthered the culture of isolation. Because we focus on survival, we have forgotten one of the most essential needs of life, and that is to sincerely connect with others and affect their lives in the same way our lives are affected by the concerns and encouragement we receive from one another as being part of a community. Isolation and loneliness is real. Because of pandemic, more and more people are pushed to live alone. They care less if they have never been part of the community, especially the community of faith. Or they would rather prefer a convenient practice of their religiosity, like going to a church that does not require their commitments. I believe that being a member of the faith community is not just going to church. Being part of the body of Christ is as essential as having food on the table. Our spiritual coming together and remaining a true community that witness to the saving grace of God is necessary to the development of human community. But the question is, why some people are still not part of the family of God? Because they don't want to, and we don't want to. Why is it that even if they are part of the community of faith, they still feel alone and lonely? I know you know the answer. We cannot know Christ and continue living alone just for ourselves, because to know Jesus Christ is to concern ourselves about the community He founded. The church is concerned with many ministries, but its primary task is to connect and build up the life of faith of its members. Even Jesus Christ knew the importance of being part of the temple. He went to the temple regularly, and you can read that in Luke chapter 4, verse 16. The secret of the early apostolic church as a community of faith is the experience of awe and fear. Fear and awe. Perhaps the reason why we are not like the church or the early church is that because we no longer experience fear and awe as the Spirit would want to lead us. Second, they have equal commitment. The early believers sold their possessions so that proceeds might be used to help the needy. The practice is that each person held his good at the disposal of others. whenever the need arose. And this is difficult. It's much easier to sell your own property and give the proceeds to the group. Mutual encouragement is the third character of this early church. The early church held common meals, which include the breaking of the bread. The expression used to describe this experience is intense and sincere joy. Matindi, malalim, matapat. To them, to gather together is an uplifting source of comfort, inspiration, and emotional strength. Alam ko, miss na miss nyo na yung church. Some of you would really want to go and meet in the church na gaya ng ginagawa nyo dati. Kaya lang, may mga pagkakataon na kahit ang ating mga anak ayaw na ngang magtagal sa bahay at ayaw ring magtagal sa simbahan. Kaya kung hindi sila pwedeng magtagal sa simbahan o maging sa bahay, saan kaya sila makikita? And that's why we need to make our church, especially when we are gathering together in fellowship, na parang hindi lang bahay, kundi isang lugar na kung saan talagang maramdaman nila that they are being encouraged, no? And mutual encouragement is experienced. Practical teaching is another character of the early church. Matinding kumilos ang banal na spirito sa pagtuturo sa mga mananampalataya. Instructions that focus on growth and lead to knowing hope in life's purposes. Jesus Christ uses a life-related concepts in all of his teachings and instructions. Perhaps the church should do the same. Paano ba tayo magiging creative at practical sa ating pagtuturo? Paano ba natin gagawing mas masigla? How can we make our Sunday school enticing, encouraging, inspiring, at tunay na magtutulak sa kanila para lalong mag-aral ng salita ng Diyos? In the early church, religious devotion was a daily affair. It was the venue for instructions and teachings that resulted to their effective witness to the community at large. In fact, Rome was strengthened by their growing numbers. They grow in quality and in quantity. Pero ang matinding problema natin, even the church cannot be that kind of community. And even inside the church, we still experience isolation. We live together, yes. We can come together, yes. The church is where we corporately gather for worship. But after the worship, it seems that nothing has changed. It seems nothing has been done. It seems that the Spirit has not worked in the midst of God's people. Nakakalungkot yun. The paradox of our time, a poem anonymously written, captured the true character of life living together, but in reality, apart from each other. Allow me to read this in closing. Today, we have taller buildings, but shorter tempers, wider freeways, but narrower viewpoints. We spend more, but have less. We buy more, but enjoy less. We have bigger houses and smaller families, more conveniences, but less time. We have more degrees, but less sense. More knowledge, but less judgment. More experts, yet more problems. More medicine, but less wellness. We drink too much, smoke too much, spend too recklessly, laugh too little, drive too fast, get too angry, stay up too late, get up too tired, read too little, watch TV too much, and pray too seldom. We have multiplied possessions, but reduce our lives, reduce our values. We talk too much, love too seldom, and hate too often. We've learned how to make a living, but not life. We've added years to life, but not life to years. We've been all the way to the moon and back, but we have trouble crossing the street to meet a new neighbor. We conquered outer space, but not inner space. We've done larger things, but not better things. We've cleaned up the air, but polluted the soul. We've conquered the atom, but not our prejudice. We write more, but learn less. We plan more, but accomplish less. We've learned to rush, but not to wait. We build more computers to hold more information, to produce more copies than ever. But we communicate less and less. And these are the times of fast foods and slow digestion, big men and small character, steep profits and shallow relationships. These are the days of two incomes but more separations, fancier houses but broken homes. These are the days of quick trips, disposable diapers, throwaway morality, one-night stand, overweight bodies, and pills that do everything from cheer to quiet to kill. It's a time when there is much in the showroom window and nothing in the stockroom. Today, as we remember the work of God's Spirit in the time of Pentecost, we are reminded of the kind of faith they have in their community, in the early community of believers. We know we need one another. Today, we are encouraged to still have faith in the community of faith and to do our part. We need to be together in order to steer love and good works. That's what the writer of Hebrew says in Hebrew 10:24. Believing and loving, faith and practice belong together. And the only thing that helps us to attain this is to be together and mutually grow and equally commit in the community of faith. To still have faith in the community of faith. Blessed Sunday, everyone.